My sister works as a recovery room nurse at a hospital. She helps patients wake up after surgery. She has seen everything. People crying, people confused, people asking the same question 50 times. But last month she witnessed something she will never forget. A man woke up from wisdom teeth surgery. He looked at his wife sitting next to him. He started crying. Not sad crying, happy crying. He said, "I cannot believe you are real. You are so beautiful. I am the luckiest man alive. How did I convince you to marry me?" His wife smiled. She said, "We have been married 12 years, honey. You tell me I am beautiful every day." The man looked shocked. He said, 12 years. I married you. That is the best decision I ever made." This went on for 20 minutes. He kept discovering he was married to this woman and being absolutely thrilled about it each time. His wife was laughing and crying. My sister said it was the sweetest thing she had ever seen. But not all anesthesia stories are that wholesome. Some people wake up and reveal secrets they wish they had kept hidden. Some people confess to crimes. Some people profess love to the wrong person. And some people just say the most ridiculous things imaginable. These are those stories. A dental surgeon named Dr. Martinez told me about a patient who came in for wisdom teeth removal. Standard procedure. The patient was a 22-year-old man named Brian. Quiet guy, polite, nervous about the surgery but cooperative. Dr. Martinez administered the anesthesia. Brian went under without any problems. The surgery took 40 minutes. Everything went smoothly. Then Brian started waking up. Dr. Martinez asked him how he felt. Brian looked around the room confused. He said, "Where am I?" Dr. Martinez said, "You are at the dentist. We just removed your wisdom teeth." Brian said, "The dentist? Why am I at the dentist?" Dr. Martinez said, "You had a surgery scheduled. Do you remember?" Brian said no. Then he looked at Dr. Martinez and said, "Are you a doctor?" Dr. Martinez said yes. Brian said, "A real doctor?" Dr. Martinez confirmed yes, a real doctor. Brian seemed satisfied with this answer. Then he said, "I need to tell you something important." Dr. Martinez said, "Okay." Brian said, "I am not supposed to tell anyone, but you are a doctor, so it is okay." Dr. Martinez asked what he needed to tell him. Brian leaned forward like he was sharing a big secret. He whispered, "I am actually a spy." Dr. Martinez said, "A spy?" Brian said, "Yes. I work for the government. I cannot tell you which government. That is classified. But I am on a very important mission right now." Dr. Martinez asked what mission. Brian said, "I am gathering intelligence on dental practices. That is why I came here today." The wisdom teeth thing was just a cover. Dr. Martinez tried not to laugh. He said, "I see. And what have you learned so far?" Brian looked around the room seriously. He said, "I have learned that dentists are not the enemy. I was told they might be, but you seem nice." Dr. Martinez said thank you. Brian said, "I need to report this to headquarters. Can I use your phone? It is a secure line, I promise." Dr. Martinez said, "Maybe you should wait until you are feeling better." Brian said, "You are right. The medication they gave me might compromise the security of the call. I will wait." He then closed his eyes and fell back asleep for 10 minutes. When he woke up again, he had no memory of the spy conversation. Dr. Martinez asked if he remembered saying anything unusual. Brian said no. Dr. Martinez told him. Brian was mortified. He said he had been watching too many spy movies lately, and apparently his subconscious created an entire fantasy. Dr. Martinez said this happens more often than people think. The anesthesia removes the filter between thoughts and speech. Whatever is in your mind comes out of your mouth, no matter how ridiculous. Another story comes from a nurse named Jessica, who works in a hospital surgical unit. She was helping a woman wake up after gallbladder surgery. The woman was in her 40s, married, had 2 teenage kids, seemed like a normal suburban mom. As she was waking up, she looked at Jessica and said, "I have to tell you something." Jessica said, "What is it?" The woman said, "I have been lying to everyone." Jessica asked what she meant. The woman said, I told everyone I went to college. I have a degree on my wall, but I never actually graduated. I dropped out junior year. Jessica did not know what to say. The woman continued, I bought a fake diploma online. I have been pretending for 20 years. My husband thinks I graduated. My kids think I graduated. My employer thinks I graduated, but I did not. I am a fraud. Jessica tried to calm her. She said, It is okay. You are just waking up. You might not be thinking clearly. The woman said, No, I am thinking clearly for the first time. I need to come clean. I need to tell everyone the truth. Jessica said, Maybe you should wait and think about this when you are fully awake. The woman agreed reluctantly. Jessica wheeled her to the recovery room where her husband was waiting. The husband asked how she was. The woman immediately said, Honey, I have something to tell you. I never graduated college. The degree on my wall is fake. I bought it online. I am so sorry. The husband stared at her. Then he started laughing. He said, I know. The woman said, What? You know? The husband said, I have known for 15 years. I found the website receipt in your email. The woman said, Why did you never say anything? The husband said, Because it did not matter. You are smart and successful and a great mom. A piece of paper does not change that. I figured you would tell me when you were ready. The woman started crying. Happy tears this time. She said, So you do not hate me? The husband said, Of course not. I love you. Jessica watched this whole exchange thinking how strange anesthesia is. This woman had been carrying guilt for 20 years. And it took being drugged after surgery to finally confess. And it turned out the confession did not even matter because her husband already knew and did not care. Later, when the woman was fully awake, she thanked Jessica. She said the anesthesia had freed her from a burden she had been carrying too long. Sometimes the truth needs chemical assistance to come out. After hearing these stories, I started asking medical professionals about their wildest anesthesia moments. Everyone had stories. A dentist told me about a patient who woke up and started speaking in a British accent. The patient was from Ohio, had never been to England, had no British relatives, but for 30 minutes after surgery, spoke with a perfect British accent. When they were fully awake, the accent disappeared and they had no memory of it. An anesthesiologist told me about a patient who woke up convinced he was a chicken. He started making clucking sounds. He tried to flap his arms like wings. He asked if someone had scattered any seeds on the floor because he was hungry. This lasted about 10 minutes. Then he fell back asleep. When he woke up the second time, he was completely normal and embarrassed when told what happened. A nurse told me about a young woman who woke up from surgery and saw her boyfriend waiting. She said, I do not know who you are, but you are really hot. Can I have your number? The boyfriend said, We have been dating for 3 years. She said, We have. That is amazing. You are so cute. Why are you dating me? I am a mess. The boyfriend laughed and showed her pictures on his phone of them together. She kept saying, Wow, I am dating you. I am winning at life. A surgeon told me about a patient who woke up and started confessing to stealing office supplies from work. Pens, sticky notes, one time a stapler. He was very concerned he would go to jail. The surgeon assured him that stealing office supplies, while not great, was not going to land him in prison. The patient said, But stealing is wrong. I am a thief. The surgeon said, Maybe just return the stapler when you go back to work. The patient said, I will. I will return everything. I am going to be an honest man from now on. The next day, the patient called the hospital embarrassed. He said he had confessed to stealing office supplies from the company he owns. He is the owner. He was stealing from himself. Another nurse told me about a teenage boy who woke up crying because he thought his mom was mad at him. His mom kept saying she was not mad. He kept saying, But you look mad. Are you sure you're not mad? This went on for an hour. The mom was patient and kept reassuring him. Finally, he calmed down and fell asleep. When he woke up fully, he had no memory of the meltdown. His mom showed him a video she had taken. He was humiliated. A dental assistant told me about a woman who woke up and said, I have been wanting to tell my husband I hate his mother. She is mean and rude and I do not want her at our house anymore. Her husband was in the room. He said, I know you do not like her. You tell me that all the time. The woman said, I do. He said, yes, every week. The woman said, oh, good. Just making sure you know. Another anesthesiologist told me about a man who woke up and became obsessed with telling everyone that giraffes are not real. He insisted giraffes were made up by the government. No animal has a neck that long. It defies physics. He wanted everyone in the room to acknowledge that giraffes are fake. They all humored him. When he was fully conscious, someone mentioned the giraffe thing. He said he loved giraffes and had a giraffe stuffed animal collection at home. A surgeon told me about a patient who woke up speaking fluent Spanish. The patient did not speak Spanish when awake, took French in school, never studied Spanish. But under anesthesia spoke perfect Spanish for about 5 minutes. No one in the room spoke Spanish well enough to know if he was making sense or just saying random Spanish words in correct grammar. When he came fully awake, he tried to speak Spanish and could not. Researchers have documented cases of people speaking languages under anesthesia that they do not know when conscious. No one fully understands why this happens. An anesthesiologist with 25 years of experience explained the science behind these strange behaviors. She said anesthesia affects different parts of the brain. It suppresses the prefrontal cortex. That is the part responsible for judgment, filtering thoughts, and social inhibitions. So when people are waking up, they have thoughts and feelings but no filter. Everything comes out. The part of the brain that normally says, "Do not say that out loud," is asleep. That is why people confess secrets or say embarrassing things. Their brain is producing the thoughts but not stopping them from being spoken. She also said some anesthesia drugs cause temporary amnesia. So people will say things and have no memory of saying them later. This is why it is both hilarious and dangerous to record people after anesthesia. They might say something very private or embarrassing that they would never want public. She said as medical professionals, they hear these confessions and comments but keep them confidential. The patient was not in their right mind. It would be unethical to share what people say in that vulnerable state. But she admitted some stories are too good not to share anonymously. She said the funniest ones are people who wake up and fall in love with their spouse all over again. Like they are meeting for the first time and are amazed this person chose them. She said it is actually very sweet because it reveals what they really think deep down. She also said some people wake up very paranoid. They think everyone is plotting against them. They think the surgery was fake. They think they are in a simulation. This usually passes within an hour. She said the key is to stay calm and reassure them. Arguing with someone under anesthesia is pointless. Just agree with them and keep them safe until the drugs wear off. She said the strangest case she ever saw was a man who woke up convinced he was a professional basketball player. He was 5 feet 6 inches tall and had never played organized basketball, but he kept insisting he needed to get to practice. His team needed him. They had a championship to win. He tried to get out of bed to go to practice. It took 3 nurses to keep him in bed. He was very strong for someone who just had surgery. Finally, they told him practice was canceled today. He could rest. He accepted this and went back to sleep. When he woke up fully, he had no interest in basketball. He was an accountant who played golf on weekends. A recovery room nurse with 15 years experience said the hardest part of the job is not laughing at patients. She said they say the funniest things with complete sincerity. She remembers a woman who woke up and asked if she was pregnant. The nurse said no. The woman said, "Are you sure?" The nurse said, "Yes, you just had your appendix removed. You are not pregnant." The woman said, "But I feel pregnant." The nurse said, "That is just the anesthesia." The woman said, "Have you checked?" The nurse said, "We did not do a pregnancy test because you are here for appendix surgery." The woman said, "But what if I am pregnant and no one knows? This is a medical mystery." The nurse finally ordered a pregnancy test just to ease the woman's mind. It was negative. The woman was relieved and said, "Good, because I do not have time for a baby right now. I have 3 kids already." She said another patient woke up very concerned about his car. He kept asking where he parked, if his car was okay, if someone was watching his car. The nurse kept assuring him his car was fine. He said, "But did you check?" The nurse said, "I did not personally check your car, but I am sure it is fine." The patient said, "Can you go check?" The nurse said, "I need to stay here with you." The patient said, Just a quick check. I will wait. The nurse eventually called security to confirm the car was in the parking lot and intact. The patient was satisfied. The most touching story came from a nurse who worked with elderly patients. She said an older man in his 80s woke up from heart surgery. His wife had died 2 years earlier. As he woke up, he looked around and said, "Where is Mary?" The nurse said, "Who is Mary?" He said, "My wife? Where is she? Did she go home?" The nurse said gently, "Sir, Mary passed away 2 years ago. Do you remember?" The man looked confused, then very sad. He said, "Oh, right. I forgot for a moment. She is gone." The nurse said, "I am so sorry." The man said, "For a moment I thought she was here. I was happy." Then he started crying quietly. The nurse held his hand. She said it is okay to be sad. The man said, "I miss her every day. But for just a moment when I woke up, I forgot she was gone. And I was happy again." It felt good to feel that happiness, even if it was not real. The nurse said that moment has stayed with her for years. She said anesthesia can be funny, but it can also be heartbreaking. It reveals what is really in people's hearts. And sometimes what is in there is grief that never fully goes away. Medical professionals all agree that what people say under anesthesia should be taken with compassion and confidentiality. These moments reveal vulnerability. They show us without our masks and filters. Sometimes it is funny. Sometimes it is sad. Sometimes it is shocking. But it is always human. So if you ever have surgery and wake up having said something embarrassing, know that the medical staff has heard it all before. They will not judge you. They will just make sure you are safe and healthy. And maybe they will tell the story anonymously at a medical conference someday. But they will never tell anyone who you are. Your secret, whatever it is safe with them.